If you've been trying to come here for the past year, you'll notice a lot of entrances were closed. Now you can come in any part of the building. There's no more temperature checks once you get inside. They will still keep things like hand sanitizing stations around as a courtesy to guests. It is quite windy down here, which is making for nightmarish fire conditions, but you can see part of the fire behind me. The flames keep whipping up. It is moving fast. The Nevada Air National Guard gearing up for what could be a very long wildfire season. This C-130 flying out to Sacramento tomorrow. It's the second earliest activation for military aircraft since 1990. It's a weird sight to see a campus of over 20,000 students this quiet and empty. So how are those students handling the change to online classes? Whether hiking, backpacking, or camping, especially during fire season, a lot of it is common sense, but it could still save your life. Think about the Tamarack fire. When that exploded in growth, as you were just saying, the Forest Service shut down trails like the Pacific Crest Trail. We're just gonna wait here until animal control arrives to rescue this dog, and hopefully the other one that we saw this morning will show up as well. If you're at home not watching the TV, make sure you look up right now, and you have to see this for yourself. This big rig behind me jackknifed and went through the concrete barrier. There's no snow coming down yet, but it is so cold up here. But yeah, the blizzard warning is supposed to go into effect about 10 p.m. tonight. Crews really did a great job. 250 personnel here on the ground battling this fire today from multiple agencies. That drop of water we just saw was actually a lot closer than it's been, and that just kind of tells you this fire behavior, how it keeps changing with the wind and where there's more fuel for it to burn. It's a nightmare commute if you're coming in from the North Valleys southbound on 395. That's what we're next to right now. You can see the traffic kind of slowly finally pushing forward next to me. We're actually in historically bad levels of air quality right now, with this past weekend registering the third and fourth worst air quality days on record. As you can see around me, the smoke is thick here in the town of Quincy, and with conditions like this, it makes it impossible for aircraft and helicopters like the one behind me to take off and help the firefighters. As a little kid, you're always asked what your favorite dinosaur is. Taylor asked me earlier, I said Velociraptor. I was caught off guard, haven't been asked that question in about 20 years. So my real favorite dinosaur is a Triceratops. StinkE, spelled with an E and not a Y, was a Virginia City tourist attraction himself. I'm Brett Forrest on Donner Summit, just north of Lake Tahoe, where snow is still coming down, but the bigger punch of this storm is expected Tuesday night into Friday. If you can't watch fireworks yourself, watch them from the comfort of your own home. I'm here in Fallon. Brett Forrest, News 4 on your side. Less than an hour until midnight, so start those clocks. Reno is saying goodbye to 2020. Farewell, adios, sayonara, and hello to 2021. This tournament is actually set to roll off here right at 8 a.m., so coming up real quick, and I'm joined by Kyle Troop. He's actually a professional bowler participating this morning. So Kyle, just tell me, what's it mean to you to be back in Reno here at the National Bowling Stadium? Void of the typical pomp and circumstance surrounding the State of the State address, first-term Governor Steve Sisolak delivered his remarks from an empty legislative chamber. The officer seen dragging a United Airlines passenger off a plane last year is now suing both the airline and the city of Chicago. You remember, watch. Jeff Goldblum is a man of many talents. He's a great actor, he's very handsome, and he also plays the piano. Goldblum just released 2 new singles from his upcoming debut jazz album, and let's take a listen.
I would say Brett's got to have a little bit more practice before we jump out of an airplane and do a halo, but he's close.
So I'm sure J-Bo said I'm not ready for a halo jump, but let me tell you, the Hitman is ready to fly. All right, it's a day close to my heart. International Beer Day. Let's hear it for that. Woo! All right, a lot of excitement. So which countries drink the most beer per capita? We're all wondering. If you guys noticed, I showed up to work this week, which means I did not win the Mega Millions. But the good news is nobody else did either. Interstate 80 is closed in both directions. It's been this way for, I want to say, almost an hour now, at least. And here in Nevada and Carson City, there were probably 500 to 600 people at the height of the rally today. Get air support focusing on those structures on the hill here. There is a hazmat team. That's what all those vehicles are there behind me. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brett Forrest. After a year of uncertainty, UNR is moving forward with in-person graduations this spring. Governor Sisolak is pushing to make Nevada the first on the calendar for the presidential primary. Talking about outdoor activity, this weekend had amazing weather, and that's pretty much the only thing that's going to get me outside to be active and exercise. Can we expect more of that at all?
Right, Brett? I felt the same way.
Now to an update on the 2 inmates who escaped Carson City Jail last night. They are still on the run. Chipotle is celebrating National Burrito Day by jumping on the cryptocurrency craze. It is giving away $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. A sign war is brewing outside the office of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Tonight, the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill is headed back to the House of Representatives. Destruction and devastation. A post-apocalyptic landscape left behind by the flames. The Beckwourth complex fire sparing some homes, but torching others.
We got out in time. I looked in my rearview mirror and the flames passed over the road and headed down my driveway and burned both sides of my property and 6 dwellings.
Lassen County Sheriff confirming 33 homes burned down. No official numbers yet from Plumas County.
It was very horrifying. The wind and the fire and the speed of it just overtook everybody.
Someone living just a couple roads down was luckier, saving his house after the fire ripped down the road, preventing his evacuation.
The fire was moving so fast and so hot, it was exploding spot fires ahead of it, way ahead of it, like a gunshot.
Building a fire line with his tractor and the help of some fire crews, waiting it out in their hot cars for 30 minutes.
It was pretty close. It was one of those things that, you know, you're kind of like, well, I love you, goodbye, this could be it. You know, I hope not, but.
Looking ahead, crews are concerned with spot fires due to strong winds blowing embers and igniting more blazes.
We have to be very careful about where we insert crews to make sure they don't get trapped. And it's the same thing with homes, so that's why we still have evacuation orders in effect in that area.
Almost 2,500 crew continue battling this fire during the day and through the night. In Doyle, Brett Forrest reporting, News 4 on your side.
Virginia City losing a local icon. People love taking pictures with him and his donkey. Tonight we're learning more about StinkE, the man who dressed like a miner and walked C Street with his beloved companion. News 4's Brett Forrest has his story.
I didn't do it. I'm innocent.
Danny Eugene Beeson passed away early Tuesday morning at the age of 70. His daughter says it was dementia, but you probably know him better as StinkE, with an E, a Virginia City tourist attraction.
He's a fixture. There's nothing like him. Tourists that came when they were kids would come when they're adults, and they still knew who StinkE was.
Beeson worked on Louisiana oil rigs before moving out to Nevada some 20 years ago. He started in the famous Virginia City gun show, where he earned the name and created the character of StinkE, with an E.
Because StinkE is not very smart, and StinkE didn't go to school, so StinkE doesn't know how to spell. So StinkE spells it with an E at the end. That's why.
His daughter says Beeson will be buried in the Virginia City Cemetery. The town hopes to make it a big celebration when the day comes.
We have a funeral procession for StinkE through Virginia City on C Street, the main street here, all the way to our cemetery. And we're hoping that we can, make the procession something that would be fitting to StinkE and who he was to us, an old dirty miner with a donkey.
As for Bernadine, StinkE's trusty donkey companion, she's being well taken care of just down the road from StinkE's Corner, as they call it.
We still have Bernadine, and we're going to try to get her to continue on doing what StinkE was doing. As far as who's going to fill in his shoes, who knows?
In honor of Danny StinkE Beeson, Brett Forrest reporting, News 4 on your side.
Happening today, the 18th annual Shop with a Sheriff event, where the Washoe County Sheriff's Office partners with community groups providing families in need with household essentials, toys for kids. News 4's Brett Forrest has the story, or should I say poem. Brett?
'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the day, Santa Claus and the sheriffs gave presents away.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas to all!
Gifts were wrapped, packed, and delivered with care for Shop with the Sheriff, so families in need could share.
We try to get the entire family and bring them all a little bit of joy. But for the kids, it's all about making sure they have clothes for the wintertime and then some toys.
While the pandemic might have changed the event, the holiday joy made the children content.
When they pulled up and they could see Santa Claus, these kids were ecstatic. They were so excited. The mom started crying. And she looked at me, she said, I didn't even tell them that we were doing this. It's a surprise for them. And she started crying.
Traditionally, they serve 250 kids a year, taking them Christmas shopping and bringing them cheer. But doing things differently, 'twas a drive-through instead. With masks, candy canes, and distance, we're happy to be here, they said.
Maybe some of these families don't have jobs, maybe some other difficulties they've encountered in their lives. So this little bit that we can do to give back, to be a bright part on a beautiful day today is all worth it in the end.
For those watching at home, make sure you're being nice, because Santa Claus tells me he has a list and he's checking it twice.
We love you all out here. We wish that you could all be here. We'd love to see you maybe next year and be good all year because Santa knows whether you're naughty or you're nice.
In Reno, Brett Forrest, News 4 on your side.
Thank you, Brett, for that poem.
The new technology is called the Aqua Eye. Today is the first day Fire and Rescue is testing it on the waters of Lake Tahoe, and the hope to do rescue and recovery more quickly. Today, a training exercise, a trial for the new tech to see if it can help on the lake.
The scenario is basically this. Somebody was out on the lake, they watched somebody go overboard off a sailboat. We typically deal with really clear water. The lake clarity is really good. So a lot of times we're able to see just with polarized lenses or putting something in the water.
With some rough conditions on the water, a good test for the Aqua Eye.
This tool will help us greatly in conditions like today where it's windy and you get a lot of wind chop, got a lot of glare on the water. With that tool we can look in theory and find a body through the sonar itself.
South Lake Tahoe police say drowning is the #1 cause of death in Tahoe. Hopefully this helps lower that number. But the #1 way to prevent drownings on the lake is to wear one of these.
Every person that we've dealt with in the water that's drowned has absolutely 100% not had a life jacket on.
With the busy summer and holiday weekends like Memorial Day just around the corner, rescue teams hope to avoid the use of tools like the Aqua Eye altogether. And that starts with life jackets.
If you want to come up to Tahoe and enjoy your vacation, just be responsible about having a life jacket, be responsible about drinking and driving.
From Lake Tahoe, Brett Forrest, News 4 on your side.